Hey. Uh-oh, what does this mean? I've never seen that before. Wow. NVIDIA compressor error. I got an NVIDIA compressor error. I have no idea what that means, but that's a new one for me. All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. We are in a series called Radical Candor. We're going to continue to expand on that series today. I will let you know right away. I am on the road, and this guy, Glenn Lundy, I have a bazillion cords here. I have all the power. I have power blocks. I have everything that you could possibly have. The only thing I do not have is the cord to my laptop, and battery is running low. And so I hope it makes it through the show. That's all I can say is I hope it makes it through the show. Otherwise, I'll have to pop on with my cell phone or something. But we better just dive in just in case we. So I'm diving in now. Let's go.
Good morning and welcome to #Rise and Grind, the #1 morning show in the world filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Club, designed to help you unlock your full potential. Each episode is filled with celebrity interviews, inspiring conversations, and the strategies you need to get ahead in your career and your life. So grab your pen and turn up the volume because it's time to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning. How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday, also known as CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group, most amazing automotive group in the nation. I get the honor of spending every Wednesday with them, and they're just incredible. 23 stores across Virginia. So listen, I love spending time with them, and I love introducing them to people like you. So if you are interested in a career change, or if you're interested in being part of a big, huge company that allows you to be an owner, you can always reach out to me. I can help you become a part of CMA. But today is CMA Day. Now, what's ironic about that is it's CMA Day, but I'm going to spend some time with CMA, but we're actually spending the full day. Danelle and I are spending the full day with Tustin Ulrich and his team from Roper Kia today. That's right. I am in Kansas City this morning. It is 4:30 a.m., not 5:30 a.m. And so I'm out here in Kansas City. We're going to spend the whole day. Tustin is doing a workshop with his people. He does this every year. He pulls together all of his leaders from his organization. He takes them off-site. They come somewhere. He does retreats in different places, and they spend a few days together. And in those days that they spend together, he does something amazing as a leader, which is he tells them the truth. He tells them the truth. They spend a couple days looking at areas of growth, development, and opportunity, right? He says, hey, this is something we need to work on as a team. This is the challenge. He challenges them. He does everything in his power to move them forward. And it's an absolute honor to be able to be a part of that today. You know, it was funny. I woke up this morning super early because we're an hour behind here on Central Time, and opened up my Morning 5 planner, and it had a quote on the top that was submitted by Noah Lundy. And I was like, oh, Lundy. Okay, there's not a whole lot of other Lundys out there. This is my brother from another mother. And the quote there said, your focus needs more focus. That was the quote. Your focus needs more focus. And it kind of hit me between the eyes. I was like, whoa, your focus needs more focus. Like, you know, we know how important it is to be focused. We say that we want to be focused, that we're going to focus on our relationships, that we're going to focus on our fitness, that we're going to focus on our finances, that we're going to focus on building our business, whatever it is we say we're going to focus on. But it's like, bro, are you really focused on that thing? Like, are you die hard, dead set focused on the thing that you say you're going to focus on? Like, it hit me this morning, and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, we're focused on building the #1 morning show in the world, right? That's one of the things we're focused on. And I'm like, well, did I get distracted and leave one of the power cords at the house? Like, come on, man. You need the power cord. right? Like, am I really focused on building the number one morning show in the world? I started asking myself that question this morning because we spend a lot of time. We show up here. We do the things. We're here right now, right? We're spending time together. But I don't know if you're like me, but your focus might just need more focus as well. And so what I love about what Tustin is doing with his team is he pulls them out of the store and he says, man, let's freaking focus. Let's get really dialed and really focused because we want to build something big. And here are the areas that you need to get better. And by doing this, he builds amazing relationships with his people, and he also helps move their lives forward, right? What he is using, what Tustin is using, is something called radical candor. Okay, Radical Candor, which Radical Candor is a book by Kim Scott. It's and also the series that we launched this week, right? And the way Radical Candor works is there's basically four quadrants. There's a graph. Imagine a chart, right? You got up, down, left, right, and the up, down is to care personally, higher and lower levels, right? I'm going to turn off this light that's being powered off the computer because it just now said my battery's running low. So I'll be a little dim on computer, but you'll be all right. So up, down is to care personally, and right, left is to challenge directly. The left side is we challenge less directly. The right side is we challenge directly, right? The top is we care personally. And there's four quadrants that are created by this. Ruinous empathy, which is where I care about you a lot, but I never challenge you. Manipulative insincerity, which is I don't care about you, nor do I challenge you, but I'm trying to get something from you. So I manipulate you with insincerity. And then the bottom right quadrant is obnoxious aggression. This is where I challenge you directly, but I don't really care about you. And the only quadrant that's really going to move people forward is compassionate candor. Compassionate candor, aka radical candor. Because here's what happens. When we use ruinous empathy, the person stays ignorant. There's no change. They don't know there's an area for them to grow. They know you care about them, but they don't know how to change. When we stay in the non-caring, non-challenging corner, people mistrust you, and there's no change in their life. When we stay in the challenging but not caring corner, people get defensive, and they might change, but they're only going to change a little bit. The real growth and the impact that we want to make in other people's lives, the best way to make that impact, the profound change that we can cause in others, is through radical candor. And that's what Tustin does with his group. That's what I'm excited to be a part of today. Now, I know that sounds great on paper, but for many, that's a scary thing to do, right? To challenge people directly, to tell them what they really need to hear, what you actually feel. I know that can be hard, but this week in this series, I'm going to help you with that. Before I do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. You know, we got to do some dancing. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest, right? So we need to get these bodies in motion this morning, all right? We need to get them rocking and rolling. Oh, no wonder. There we go. We need to get them rocking and rolling. We need to get those bodies in motion. This is the part of the show, for those of you that know and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Russell? What's up, Marilyn Wilkins? Stephanie Toadvine, shared to the masses. I see Bella Biz Media is in the building. What's up, Daniel Baldwin? How you doing, Tisha White? What's up, Kevin Stroh-Snyder in the building, working out this morning. I see Ramon Ray is up in here. I also see Scott Simons and Angeline. I see Lolita Walker is in the building. Mary Kim Farkas is up in here. Glad you're here. Fiona and Andy and Mary Kim and Don and Natasha. I see Patty and Tony T and Christine and Jackie. I see Jackie, two Jackies. I see Mike. I see Colo. What's up, Malcolm? Appreciate you, buddy. I see Tosh Queen. I see Nathaniel Banks, Young Johnson, Dora Maria. Michael Barrick is in the building with the dope tattoo. What's up, Paul? How you doing, Josh? How you doing, Luis and Sonia and Trisha and Tina and Nikki and Macy and Munson? We got Robin Price in the building. Natasha Smith is up in here as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Michelle McLean is here. I'm glad you're here. Hey, I'm going to move fast because I don't know when we're going to run out of power and it's getting critical. All right, so we're going to keep rocking and rolling. But hey, I do want to let you know that the way we're able to do this show is thanks to all my amazing dealers in 800% Club that invest in themselves and invest in me. And so I love bringing these two communities together, right? Our Rise and Grind community, our automotive community. And the way that we do that is if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, you can go to shop.800eliteauto.com. Shop.800eliteauto.com. That allows you to shop vehicles from all the dealers that are in my network. Tell them I sent you, Glenn Lundy, because you do. You have a friend in the car business. Isn't that dope? I think it's dope. I think it's super, super dope. All right, so they are here. I am here. We can hook up and make it happen. All right, cool. All right, let's dive in. All right. We are back live. That's right. We are back live. If you're catching this video, you're like, what do you mean back live? This is the first time I've ever seen you. I don't even know who the heck you are. What are you talking about? You're live. It's like 4:45 in the morning. You're some kind of nutcase. So if that's you, welcome. My name is Glenn Lundy, husband to one, father to 8. Super excited that you and I were able to connect. Thanks for being here. We usually have a fully produced daily morning show called #Rise and Grind here on this channel. However, due to circumstances unforeseen, aka Glenn didn't bring the power cord to his laptop. Due to circumstances unforeseen, the laptop shut off 15 minutes into our 30-minute show. So we got about halfway through the show. Now, this creates an interesting dynamic because the show was written and scripted with video clips, right? Video clips that help tell the story visually as we also tell our stories audibly. Visual clips that help us learn through visual cues, right? As we also are learning through audible cues, etc., etc. So I had some great videos that we were playing today. I was actually getting ready to play the very first one, and that's when the computer said, and shut down. Young Johnson said he thought his phone was going crazy. No, just me, bro. Just me. Not a you thing at all. Totally not your fault. So here's what we were talking about. We were talking about radical candor, this idea of caring deeply for people, way high on the scale, right? 10, and then challenging them directly, way high on the scale, 10, right? And we're talking about how this radical candor is how we can really help create profound change in people, right? And it's difficult to do. We have fear, right? We have this fear that says, I don't want to tell that person their zipper's down because I'm going to embarrass them. I don't want to tell that person that they've got bad breath because I don't know them that well and I'm going to offend them. I don't want to tell my spouse the truth. I don't want to tell my spouse that this food that she made is not my flavor. Like I'm not totally digging it. Or I don't want to tell my spouse or my girlfriend or my boyfriend that, there's a problem when it comes to, intimacy or, an area that we totally, don't see eye to eye on, right? Like we don't want to challenge those things. So what we end up doing, because we care for people a lot, is a lot of times we just don't challenge them at all, right? But that's a problem. Because that leaves them in a place of ignorance. They don't know that it's a thing. You're the only one who knows it's a thing. My guess is you've experienced that, right? You've had something that's festering in you. It's festering in you. You're like bugged about it, irked about it. The other person doesn't even know. I'll give you an example. My wife for years did not tell me that it was driving her crazy that when I take off my shirt, it turns inside out. And when she does laundry, she has to flip it back the other way. She just never told me. She would just be bugged by it. She would be bugged if my socks were inside out because she'd have to flip them back the other way. And one day she was like, bro, can you just get your stuff like straight? Like, I don't understand why your stuff's got to be inside out. Do you realize how much time you're adding to my life? I am a woman with 7 babies doing laundry, and I'm having to spend all this time. And she was like, bam. I'm like, yo, I didn't know. I had no idea. All you had to do is tell me. And she told me, and guess what? Every single time now, I make sure that my stuff's not inside out when it goes in the laundry, right? That's radical candor, but it took her years, literally years of doing my laundry before she ever said that. Why is that? Why is that? Why is it we don't say what it is that we feel, right? And so we've been talking about radical candor, and my guess is you want to make a positive impact in other people's lives. That's my guess, right? You wouldn't be here with me. You wouldn't be hanging out with me if you didn't want to make a positive impact in other people's lives. And so I want to give you a hack to how you can do that, right? The hack for how you make a positive impact in other people's lives is be the person who tells people the truth. Be the person in that person's life who tells them the truth. Listen, I was talking to Josh Cummins. He's the owner of Dan Cummins Chevrolet and Buick in Paris, Kentucky, a dealership that I had the honor of working at for 8 years, and had the honor of running with Josh for 8 years as well. And he pulled me aside and he said something to me one time. I hear that over there on Clubhouse. He pulled me aside and he said something. He said, that was made clear in our home. He said to me, Glenn, the worst part of owning a dealership or any business, the worst part about owning a business is that no one will tell you the truth. The worst part is that no one will tell you the truth. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And he's like, bro, I sign their checks. And because I signed the check, it creates this interesting dynamic where people don't want to let you down, so they don't tell you the truth. People don't want you to think that they're incompetent, so they don't tell you the truth. They're afraid of how you're going to react, so they don't tell you the truth. He's like, everything that gets delivered is candy coated, softened. I get parts of the story, but not the whole story. He's like, man, it sucks. Nobody will tell me the truth. It's the worst part about owning a business. And I have taken that to heart ever since. And I made it my deal. Like, I made myself more valuable in that dealership and in circles with dealership owners around the country now, business owners around the country. I made a commitment to be that person in their life. And by being the person that always told Josh the truth and other dealers the truth, my value has increased in the world, and so will yours. So will yours. So listen, I'm going to give you a couple things. Here's a couple of things that you can do to really foster and nurture this relationship, to break through some of these beliefs that you have, right? Or some of these fears that we have. We have fear of offending people. That keeps us from telling the truth. We have fear of a negative response. That keeps us from telling the truth. Sometimes it's just a lack of communication skills, right? We don't know the words to use. That keeps us from telling the truth. Sometimes it's like a cultural barrier or an age barrier, right? We don't want to, they're older, they're younger, whatever. They're from a different nationality or whatever. Cultural barriers can keep us from telling the truth. And so here's a couple things that you can do to be that person in other people's life, that impactful person. All right. So the first thing you need to do is you need to really foster the environment. Like if you're going to be the type of person that tells people the truth, you have to start start expanding your relationship through a lot of questions, right? So if I'm asking you a lot of questions, I'm like, hey, Don Sankey, tell me a little bit more, about you. Or, hey, Don Sankey, what are some of the things that you love? Hey, Don Sankey, right? We can start there. And then it's like, hey, Don Sankey, when you watch the morning show, when you watch the morning show, #Rise and Grind, what are some of the things that you love about the show, right? And then he tells me, and then it's like, okay, great. And hey, Don Sankey, what are some of the things that, what is one thing that you think the show could do that could be better, right? And Don Sankey's like, well, it'd probably be better if you brought a power cord for your laptop, right? And I'm like, great, man, I appreciate that, right? And so I'm starting to build this relationship with Sankey. And every time I see Sankey, I'm asking him lots of questions, and I'm fostering this relationship where he's giving me feedback, and I'm creating this loop, right? You don't want to be the person that just walks in, you're like, I don't know you, you don't know me. And so boom, I'm going to challenge you directly. Why do you freaking walk that way, talk that way, tie your shoes that way, blah, 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 right? You don't want to do that. That's obnoxious. Now you become the obnoxious person. People become defensive. No, we want to foster a relationship of feedback. And that starts by you being a great receiver. Before you can be a good giver of feedback, you got to be a great receiver of feedback. That's where it starts, right? That's where it starts. So first things first, just start to foster that. If it's in your work environment, maybe it's with your spouse, maybe it's with your kids, maybe you're thinking, man, yeah, I really do care about these people and I do need to challenge them directly. I don't know where to start. Start by asking a lot of questions and allow them to give you feedback, right? Foster that relationship or foster that environment, that culture. The second thing that you want to do is make sure that you build really strong relationships. Now, building relationships requires time, energy, effort. Building strong relationships requires a deep concern for others. Building strong relationships is the catalyst to being able to tell people the truth, right? If you think about your best friend, think about your best friend right now. Drop your best friend's name in the chat. You're not going to offend anybody. You'll be all right. You're like, oh, see, look, people are already like, oh, I don't want to make somebody else mad. Drop the name of your best friend in the chat on Clubhouse. Drop the name of your best friend over here on Facebook. And when you think about that relationship, go ahead. I want to see them. I want to see the names. 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 Drop them. There you go. Barbara Wright. When you're thinking about Barbara Wright, when you're thinking about Lyin, when you're thinking about Trey Benson, right? When you're thinking about Angela, James, Lauren, and Sarah, when you're thinking about Joe Dan, when you're thinking about Trevor, when you're thinking about Wes, when you're thinking about Lisa Dougherty, when you're thinking about Irene, when you're thinking about Jerry, when you're thinking about Alan Biles, when you're thinking about Pat, right? When you're thinking about Annette, when you're thinking about Jennifer, when you're thinking about Margie Howard, when you're thinking about that person, right? My guess is when you're thinking about that person, if you look at it, the reason that person is your best friend is because that person tells you the truth. Like if you look back, you can say there's been times in your life where that person told you what you needed to hear, even though you didn't want to hear it. Like the relationships are forged, right? The relationships are forged, and our best friends, the ones that become the best, not just good friends, not just fair friends, not just seasonal friends, the ones that become the best friends are the ones that have told you the truth, that at some point you've gone, oof, that hurts. Ah, damn. But you're right. Dang, but you're right. So listen, you want to attack this? You want to be that impactful person in other people's life? Well, first, foster a culture of feedback. Receive before you give. Then second, build strong relationships so you can be that best friend that tells them the truth, that makes that lasting impact. And then the third thing that you need to do is focus on intent. You see, when you want to make a positive impact in other people's lives, it goes back to what Noah Lundy says here in the planner. Noah Lundy says, your focus needs more focus. So if you really focus on the intent of radical candor, the intent is to help people move their life forward. That's the intent. To help them get better. It's not to prove you right. It's not to make them feel less than. It's not to make them feel small. It's to make them feel bigger, to gain, to grow, to become the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be, right? So you focus on intent. You know, I talk to a lot of business owners. They're like, man, I can't fire this person. I don't want to fire this person. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't fire this person? Well, they're underperforming, they're miserable, they're negative, they're unhappy, but they've been around for a long time and I love them. Okay, great. If you love them so much, why are you allowing them to underperform? If you love them, why are you allowing them to be so negative and miserable? If you love them, why are you allowing them to be in a role, in a position, in a job that they shouldn't be in? If you love them, the kindest thing you can do is fire them and allow them to go somewhere where they can spread their wings and really thrive. See, it's focus and intention. If my focus and intention is to help you become best version of yourself that you can possibly be, then I can walk into a room and I can say, look, this ain't working out. This is not the best place for you. This is not what's best. You're in your best interest. And so I'm going to be kind enough to not let you stay at a lower state. I'm going to be kind enough to not let you stay at average or below average or even a little bit above average. And instead, I am going to fire you. I am going to push you out of the nest so that you can fly. See, that's radical candor. That's challenging directly. Challenging them directly, but it's passionate. It's with love. It's with care. I'm not firing you because you're less than or you suck. I'm firing you because you're more than. See what I'm saying? To be kind is to be clear. If you're going to err on one side or the other, err on the side of the clear. Because when you're clear with people, with the right intention, with passion and love and understanding, you can help them achieve massive growth. And you'll be the one that a decade from now or 5 years from now or whenever it is, you'll be the one that they'll look back in their life and they'll say, I am so grateful for that time that Ramon fired me, because if he wouldn't have done so, I would not be the man or woman that I am today. Radical candor, friends. Help people make that change. Go make an impact in other people's lives. That's what we're called to do. You, me, children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And this life has a born-on date and an expiration date. The dash in the middle, impact. The positive impact we can make on other people's lives. That's what it's all about. That's my show for today. I will get a cord for this laptop later today so that I can be back tomorrow morning with full production. Hope you enjoyed the show. I do have to run immediately and get out of here. I'm going to go meet up with Danelle Delgado. We're going to go do a little CrossFit, and then I get to run 4 miles after that, and then get dressed and crush the day. So I love you. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. For those of you on Clubhouse, I love you. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. And I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.